I can't say the first time I experienced it. I can actually go a little more recent. This past weekend, I was at a major retail store, and I only had a few items. So instead of going to the cashier line, I decided to go to self-checkout. I noticed, you're taking a survey of which one you want to go to or which one's empty. And I noticed that the two employees who monitor the self-checkout, they were engrossed in the conversation because one of the guys was pretty loud. And then all of a sudden, when it's my turn to go up, I'm at the self-checkout and they're behind me, one of the guys. And I was like, okay, am I being hypersensitive? Is it just me? And then all of a sudden, he walks back, and it's a security guard who walks up behind me. And I assume he was just checking to make sure that I was, scanning my items. But it was just frustrating because it makes me feel like I'm a criminal. And I'm not a criminal. Not to sound too Air Forcey, but I actually do stand by the integrity first core value. So that was, and it's not the first time, and unfortunately won't be the last time. To say how I'll overcome it, honestly, it's something that you just have to face. I've actually asked the security guard, are you following me? I was at a grocery store, and I saw him all of a sudden when I was there, and then I walked down and I saw him again. And then I intentionally went down the aisle that I didn't need to go to. And I was like, are you following me? What are you doing? So sometimes you confront them head on because you can assume they don't know because it may be unconscious bias, but you notice that it's there. You don't know if you're being hypersensitive or something, and then you talk to someone else, it's like, oh, you have similar experience. And it's like, okay, it's not just me. Be unafraid to have those difficult conversations. I think that's the part that you really need to focus on, because you can't fix a problem if you can't admit that it exists. I know that when you talk about institutionalized racism, it really is, like I said, unconscious bias, and it's a conversation, but after the conversation, it needs to be action. And the action that I would say is just be aware. And once you're aware, for those who see it, intervene. And that's important. So, we don't feel like we're alone.